The fallout from Survivor Series War Games has left us once again with even more questions than ever before, including one question of what did fans think about Survivor Series altogether? Some people believe that it was a great show. Others believe it sucked. Honestly, I really can't complain about Survivor Series because, well, let's be real. Let's be real. When it comes to war games, it is always chaotic, and anything can happen. Let's just be real on that. But there are so many things, so many different topics to bring up when it comes to the fallout of Survivor Series. So let us break down each match, that was on the card, and talk about what we can expect for the foreseeable future leading into the road to WrestleMania. So first up is obviously the women's War Games match that featured Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee doing battle with the Kabuki Warriors, the current tag team champions, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Becky Lynch. Obviously, we know that Charlotte and Alexa are both in line for a rematch for the women's tag team titles at some point. With the fact that Team Rhea picked up the victory over Team Asuka, it seems like there's going to be there are going to be several matches that we can expect to see take place from now until potentially either the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. One match in particular, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Becky has decided to go on social media and say, "Oh, this match doesn't count. I didn't tap out." Everybody decided to, she literally blames everyone for what happened inside War Games, but she was the one that tapped out. We all saw it. We all did. And simply put, she tapped out. So I know for a fact that at some point between now and potentially WrestleMania, which I don't think is there, it's not going to be too long before we see it. But I would say sometime between now and Saturday night's main event on the 13th, we're going to end up seeing AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, and that rivalry has to come to an end at some point because AJ Lee, there is a lot that AJ Lee can do on Raw. For one, she could potentially go after the Women's Intercontinental title currently being held by Maxine Dupree. She could go after the Women's World title, now currently being held still by Stephanie Vaquer. If she were to find herself a tag team partner, they could go after the Women's Tag Team titles held by the Kabuki Warriors. A lot of ideas for AJ Lee, but one thing is for certain: AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch one-on-one has to happen at some point. As far as the other 8 go, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we had ourselves a fatal 4-way tag match for the tag team titles, because I know for a fact that Nia Jax and Lash Legend, they want to be tag team champions. They want those titles more than anything else, which was the reason why they teamed up with Asuka inside of War Games this past Saturday. So I can honestly say that if Rhea and if Io and Rhea have the same mindset of becoming tag team champions, we could be in the midst of a fatal 4-way for those tag team titles sometime between now and the Royal Rumble. However, if you saw the video package for the women's division for WrestleMania 42, you will know that you saw Jade Cargill, the new WWE Women's Champion. You saw Becky Lynch. You saw Charlotte Flair. You saw Tiffany Stratton, the former champion, and you even also saw Liv Morgan, who made her return to WWE this excuse me, this past Saturday at Survivor Series, which we will talk about here in a minute. You even also saw as well Rhea Ripley and Io Sky as well. So the question becomes, what can we expect from those 7 women? Well, I mean, we could potentially see all of them go after championship gold at some point, which could be interesting. But we'll have to wait and see, because there's really no telling. There's really no telling how far Rhea and Io's team, tandem can last, because they both want the women's world title currently being held by Stephanie Vaquer. But because that Stephanie Vaquer is already like the biggest star going on Raw, there's no point in putting Rhea and Io in line for a shot at the women's world title. There's really no point, because there are quite a few fans who are sick and tired of seeing Rhea as women's world champion. There are some who are sick and tired of seeing Io as champion. They wanted something new. They wanted something fresh. And Stephanie Vaquer is indeed that new, fresh face that is women's world champion. So it's pretty possible. But at this point, again, it's possible that Rhea and Io could go after the women's world title, but there's just no point. They'll just like, I'm pretty sure that that match will just probably get buried, and they'll just be like, they'll end up becoming an afterthought, in my personal opinion. So, my honest opinion, we could see a fatal 4-way for those tag team titles between hashtag Rio, Bliss and Flair, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors. It would be really funny though, because we saw Asuka inadvertently hit Lash Legend with the poison mist, and that completely backfires. So I can honestly guarantee, I can guarantee that at some point Nia Jax is gonna get her payback for that moment. It is very possible, and it is bound to happen at some point, but we just don't know when. We don't know when exactly. We just do not know. Speaking of Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio is once again the Intercontinental Champion, which ties into the second part to this video, which is who could be next in line to challenge Dom for his second reign as Intercontinental Champion. And honestly, as much as I want to say it, I don't think I know for a fact 100% it is not going to be John Cena. And that's always the MO of John Cena. He's over the last, I want to say 20 years, ever since he first became ever since he won his first of 17 world titles in WWE. He has done nothing but give back to his fans and give back to WWE because of the fact that it was the WWE that gave John Cena a chance. They gave him a chance to prove his worth, prove what he's capable of, and he's done super well doing as such. And since then he has literally he's taken so many talent and literally got them over. He did that for guys like AJ Styles, guys like Kevin Owens, Triple H. He's done that for Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, Edge, Booker T, Carlito, Rey Mysterio. He's done that for so many people throughout his entire career, and Dominic Mysterio was the latest person to for John Cena to get to get over. And because that Dominic Mysterio won in his hometown of San Diego, now the question now becomes, when can we expect Dominic Mysterio to be a babyface? When can we see it? Honestly, at this point, Dominic Mysterio has basically become the Seth Rollins of WWE. He has become a new version of Seth Rollins, where he started out he started out as a babyface. He tried to find himself. He found himself as part of a faction. Now he's trying to go at it on his own, because let's not forget, Dominic Mysterio once again is a double champion, because not only does he hold the AAA mega can't speak the AAA mega championship, but he now holds the WWE Intercontinental title as well, which both titles have a lot of prestige, and Dominic Mysterio he has history in both of his hands. He has the legacy of the AAA mega title, and the history of the WWE Intercontinental title, which both titles, they go back over 2 decades. So that right there says a lot about how good Dominic has been throughout the entire time that he's been a part of the Judgment Day. And he's grown so much, 100%. Even you guys have to admit, he's grown so much, and we could potentially see him as a babyface, and I would love to see that for him. And I think it's gonna take a little bit of extra time, but I can honestly say that Dominic Mysterio is going to be one of the best natural baby faces ever. Because if you guys remember, with Seth Rollins, he had his own faction, with guys like Buddy Murphy, the Authors of Pain, Austin Theory, and then by the time 2022 came around, by the time we got to 2022, and he had his matches with guys like Cody Rhodes and of course Matt Riddle, the fans started to sing along. Can't speak. They started to slowly but surely sing his song, and it got to a point where Seth Rollins naturally became a babyface, and nobody even realized it. Dominic Mysterio, on the other hand, is exactly that, and it kind of started earlier this year at WrestleMania. It literally started then, earlier this year, And I can honestly say that by the time we get to 2026, which is not going to be long, because at the end of this month, because right now we are in the month of December. Right now we are in the month of December. So by the time the clock strikes midnight at the end of this month in 2026, Dominic Mysterio is going to be a babyface. And it's going to happen when Finn Balor turns his back on Dominic Mysterio. The question becomes, will Liv Morgan join Dominic Mysterio? That right there remains to be seen, because we've seen over the last couple months or so, ever since Liv Morgan got injured and had to have surgery, people forget that Roxanne Perez, she's been getting a little flirty, if you will, with Dirty Dom. So I don't know about you guys, but we could potentially see a love triangle involving Liv Morgan, Dirty Dom, and Roxanne Perez, which could be interesting. But as far as like who could challenge Dirty Dom, 100% it has to be someone that can help get him over even further, while at the same time win that title. And it has to be Sheamus, because let's be real, when it comes to his own father, Rey Mysterio, he's probably going to go after the AAA Mega title at some point. But Sheamus, he needs to win that title, and we could potentially see it sometime between now and Saturday night's main event, which will be in a couple weeks, actually. So not too far off. Excuse me. As far as the women's world title goes. Speaking of the women's world title, Stephanie Vaquer is already one of the hottest stars going. Like, she is the biggest star on Raw right now. And it's not because of the fact that she got to the main roster pretty early. It's more the fact that she has grinded, she has busted her ass, and shown the world why she is the Dark Angel, why she is known as La Primera. It's because she's always grinding and always becoming a student of the game, if that makes sense. She is truly a ring general, and she is that damn good. So I mean, as far as Stephanie Vaquer goes, I mean, anybody could step up. Again, it's like I said, Rhea Ripley could step up, Io Sky could step up. There's really no telling who would be left for the Dark Angel. I would say Naomi, but she's still on maternity leave, and she actually decided to post on social media that her and Big Jim are having a boy. So congrats to Naomi and Big Jim on their child. Props to them, shout outs to them. Yeah, I mean, and as far as Nikki Bella goes, I mean, there's really no telling what we can expect from her. She admitted in a backstage interview, right after her match, that we have not seen the last of Nikki Bella. So she'll probably step away from the ring for a while, and we probably won't see her until potentially the Royal Rumble, which will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia next month. Who knows? Only time will tell. We don't know. But as far as the men's War Games match, 100% Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, the rivalry is never going to end. And it has to end soon rather than later. Let's be real on that. Jey Uso, obviously he has to deal with the last time is now tournament. Semifinals against LA Knight. So that's gonna be interesting, which I believe that starts tonight on Raw. So Jey Uso is gonna be hella sore going into tonight's match against LA Knight, and it ain't gonna be pretty. I can guarantee you that. As far as the Brawns go, Braun Breaker pinned CM Punk with the help of an unknown assailant, which we have no idea who the fuck that dude was. But what I can say, excuse me. What I can say is that we could be looking at arguably one of the most important matches of Braun Breaker's career. The question is, who was the masked assailant? No one knows. No one knows. Apparently Paul Heyman does, but if you guys watched the post show on Saturday, he says that he has no idea, but let's be real. It's all cap. It's all cap. Let's be real. It is all cap. We might have an idea. It could be Austin Theory. We haven't seen much of him in a minute, but who knows? Brock Lesnar, I really don't know what's next for him. I don't even know what was in it for him to be in this match. Maybe a shot at Cody Rhodes, who knows? But as far as Roman goes, I mean, 100% he's going after Cody. 100% we are going to be seeing Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes round 3, the rubber match, to see who is the greatest, who is the guy. As far as CM Punk goes, I mean, WrestleMania is right around the corner. We're literally right around the corner from WrestleMania season. So only time will tell. But honestly, there's there's a lot that we still don't know. But as far as what we can expect going into tonight's episode of Raw, there's a lot. There's a lot. We could expect to find out who was the masked assailant. We could expect the Kabuki Warriors potentially defending their tag titles. There's a lot, but there is one question that we all have to know, and it is the question of who is going to face John Cena in his last match ever a week from this Saturday. And honestly, it has to be either Gunther or LA Knight. It cannot be Jey Uso, and it cannot be Solo Sikoa. The only reason why is because Jey Uso eliminated John Cena from the Royal Rumble earlier this year. In I think it was in February earlier this year. So I think if that match were to take place, I don't know what fans would say about it. But I think Solo's already beaten John Cena, so it's like, what's the point? You know? So it has to come down to either LA Knight or Gunther, and crazy enough, we could potentially be seeing Gunther become John Cena's final opponent. How ironic is it, right, that John Cena's first opponent in WWE was none other than Kurt Angle, who is a former world champion, and his last opponent would be Gunther, another former world champion. How ironic. How ironic. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.